Tips for sustainable wealth every Friday 7 p.m. UTC by Fluffy and Alex. Today on our show we have a battle of fantasy worlds filled with games and NFTs, a fight of the Metaverse where you can create whatever you can think of. A dinosaur can battle a Jedi. Decentraland versus Sandbox. The industry of the Metaverse is said to be headed towards a $5 trillion industry. Can those two fighters have a place on the sun? And which one is better choice for the long term? Tokenomics, price, performance, recent developments, insights, and all the stats to decide which one can benefit our portfolio the most.
Exactly.
Alex, exactly.
Back to me.
Back to you.
Hello guys, let's start with price performance or which project would have made us more money through the years. If we compare them since August 2020, when both projects were live to purchase for the general public, then it is evident that Sandbox, the blue line, has outperformed Decentraland. But if we compare those fighters in the bear market of 2022, since January, then Decentraland did better and lost less value than Sand. I believe this is due to the fact that Mana token has a secret, and we will discuss it in the Tokenomics section.
Wow.
Now, if we invested $1,000 in August of 2020 into Mana, then today we would have $7,000 in our pockets. Not bad. On the other hand, investing the same amount of money for the same time period into Sandbox would give us $9,000. Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
We could party hard in the Metaverse.
In the Metaverse.
Exactly. Guys, if you want to check another awesome crypto gaming battle and learn everything you need to know about Illuvium versus Gala games, then click at the suggested video at the right top corner. Okay, let's unravel the secret of their tokenomics, as this section can impact the price heavily, so we need to know what's up. Let's have some fun with tokenomics.
Wow.
Both Decentraland and Sandbox have similar market caps. They both are valued at around $1.2 billion. Also, both Mana and Sand tokens have similar circulating supply of around 1.8 billion. The maximum supply of Mana tokens that can ever exist is 2.19 billion and 3 billion tokens as far as Sandbox is concerned. This means that 82% of all Mana tokens are unlocked and circulating. On the other hand, Sandbox has much more unlocks to go, as only 60% of the supply has been unlocked. This makes inflation rate for Sandbox much more important, as those token unlocks could impact the price negatively. Inflation rate for Mana is around 2% per year, which is very low. Sandbox has around 50% inflation rate per year, which combined with the bear market is hitting the price relentlessly. Get this, Sandbox recently should have a big unlock of tokens. Reportedly, around $250 million worth of the token unlocks will hit the market, so definitely be careful. The next relatively big unlock should happen at the beginning of August this year, and another one which will be much smaller should happen in first quarter of 2024. Until 2025, all the Sand tokens should be unlocked. After that, Sandbox will have zero inflation rate. Now, staking is one of the use cases for Sand tokens, despite governance and the medium of exchange, as you need to stake the tokens to create NFT assets or to vote in governance. So it's nice to see that there is demand that somehow offsets a little bit of those token unlocks. On the other hand, Decentraland has similar use cases but with no staking. One huge advantage over Sand is that in order to buy virtual property on the platform called Land, you need to permanently burn Mana tokens. Also, the project enforces 2.5% token burn of every transactions that take place on the Decentraland marketplace. The initial supply of Mana tokens were 2.8 billion, but after the first Land auctions, the project burned around 600 million Mana tokens.
Wow.
It is expected that by the year 2030, all the tokens will be unlocked. There are still around 170 million locked Mana tokens out of 220 million held by the foundation, and around 150 million held by the automated DAO fund that unlocks in a decentralized manner as primary usage to build on the platform. There was $17.9 million transferred in a single day in Mana tokens on the Ethereum network. For the same day, Sand had slightly more value transferred, around $25.8 million. Comparing those numbers to their respective market caps, Decentraland has a figure of 67 and Sandbox 46.5. This makes Sandbox slightly undervalued compared to Decentraland, but nothing significant to boast around. So, all in all, with the burning mechanism that Decentraland has, the low inflation rate, I think that this round goes to Mana, as Sandbox has more significant unlocks on the horizon. But all is not over, as we need to see maybe Sandbox is doing better on demand side of things, and maybe it has more users and activity. Before moving on though, if you guys already decided which one you want to hold, then please avoid doing so on exchanges and hold your assets in a safe crypto wallet like a ledger. And if you want to support our channel, then you can purchase one by using our affiliate link that you can find in the description down below. Now let's settle this battle once and for all in our Commendatory, where we will compare recent developments, their user base, sales stats and insights. As a report by McKinsey suggests that Metaverse has the potential to reach $5 trillion in value by 2030. Both Decentraland and Sandbox could capture some of this value, as gaming for sure is part of what they offer. Potentially even e-commerce and maybe media as well are areas that those two could tackle. This means that a 10-fold increase in value is possible, maybe even a 100x increase by 2030. Who knows?
Interesting.
Exactly. Now, both Decentraland and Sandbox are in the forefront of the Metaverse, NFT and gaming narrative. They both have joined in July of 2022 in the Open Metaverse Alliance to propose standards, promote Web3 and facilitate collaborations to enhance the Metaverse and maybe even work on interoperability solutions that can link some of the biggest metaverses in the space. 2022 was a good year for Decentraland with decent events and partnerships. At the start of 2022, Decentraland made a deal with the Australian Open. Around March last year, Amazon India tweeted about a potential partnership with Decentraland. Rumors wanted Amazon to launch a store in Decentraland. Although nothing big was announced, they did unbox a mobile phone in the Decentraland Metaverse. This suggests that if Amazon decides to make a partnership with a Metaverse platform, it most likely will be Decentraland. Recently, we saw Decentraland Network had the largest transaction ever. Sentiment reports that about 256.3 million mana was moved out of a known whale address. The move is estimated to be worth about $190.2 million. Usually this foreshadows a significant move in price. The most recent announcement was about Decentraland holding its second Metaverse Fashion Week, with brands like Tommy Hilfiger, Dolce & Gabbana, Adidas and Coach. According to Dap Radar, trading volume in Decentraland marketplace is dropping and generally is low for months. Recently, daily volume sits at $18.9 thousand, and NFT volume in the last month is 506,000 with 367 sales. It was widely reported on the news in October 2022 that both Decentraland and Sandbox had low numbers of daily active users. Both teams claimed that Dap Radar counts as active users only those that log in and connect their digital wallets and transact with tokens. But in reality, there are a lot of users that play around on the platform without transacting. Decentraland said that for September of 2022, they had 56.6 thousand monthly active users. For the same time period, Sandbox gave us a monthly figure that was 4 times higher, around 200,000 monthly active users. Comparing average transactions and volume in dollars, Decentraland for a year was around 100 with around 100k in dollar daily value. Sandbox, on the other hand, had more than 150 daily transactions and a much higher dollar value of around 85,000. What do you believe, guys? Can Decentraland overcome Sandbox on these metrics? Tell us in the comments down below. Looking at the stats from nonfungible.com, we can see that another source suggests similar findings. Sandbox has 250 to 500 average sales in a year, with a tremendous spike in December of 2022, and makes on average more than $700,000 weekly from sales. Decentraland for the same time period has 200 to 400 number of sales and around 300,000 in dollar value weekly from sales. If we exclude December, Sandbox has low primary sales but high and consistent secondary sales. In general, sales are higher in number compared to Decentraland, as Decentraland has good amount of primary and secondary sales, but the sum of both are lower than Sandbox. Last but not least, Sandbox has 2 or 3 times higher numbers in active wallets, unique buyers and unique sellers. Decentraland is clearly left behind. It is also worth mentioning that both projects see steady and apparent decline in all metrics, and those numbers that they display are nothing that we could be happy about if we're investing in the long term. But I think Sandbox is doing better for the most part because it achieves more partnerships. Just to name a few, in June of 2022, MasterCard announced a plan to make it possible buying NFTs directly with a credit card, and Sandbox is supposed to be one of the providers. Those numbers of sales that we saw in December that had a tremendous spike made to the news. Sandbox reported that they made more than $1.4 billion in a year in land sales. Also, their land market cap is around $150 million, which is slightly less than Decentraland is reporting. In February and March of 2023, which is just in a month, listen how many developments Sandbox had. Firstly, Ubisoft partnered with Sandbox to develop Rabbit NFTs avatars. The Sandbox acquired a firm Swiper to expand its Metaverse vision in Germany. Saudi Arabia partners with Sandbox for future Metaverse plans. Sandbox partners with Bring to launch Indian culture Metaverse hub. Playboy's Mansion will launch in 2023 in the Sandbox Metaverse. This is a deal that was announced in 2022 and will actually happen. Alo Yoga partners with Sandbox to launch exclusive wearable collection to Metaverse. The Sandbox announced partnerships with Cut the Rope creator Zeptolab to build new Web3 experiences. Now Fluff, before my verdict, tell us about their companies and give us your insider opinion.
Hello guys. There is one interesting news that is related to Sandbox, and that is that Cardano's NFT project, Clay Nation, is set to make a history as the first Cardano project to be integrated to the Sandbox game. It is believed that the move will help promote also Web3 interoperability. This move shows that Sandbox and crypto gaming in general is going to pump in the future and is still a strong narrative, even better than the one of the AI. Sandbox by this partnership demonstrates that it does follow the trends, and Cardano is going to be a trend in the future.
Exactly.
Now, moving on into the LinkedIn statistics, we see that Decentraland had an interesting growth of 134% in headcount growth the last 2 years. Decentraland continued to grow even in the bear market. Again, this shows that the gaming narrative is going to be strong in the coming bull market. A breakdown of the employee distribution shows that Decentraland is promoting marketing, a vital element for a Metaverse project success. But they also want to build own features and expand, so engineering is also increased by 26%. On a negative note, no new jobs for Decentraland are shown on LinkedIn at least. Now, moving on into the Sandbox LinkedIn statistics, we see that Sandbox had an impressive headcount growth of 290%. The crypto gaming for sure is going to be really strong, Alex.
Exactly.
Also, engineering and quality assurance teams really flourished during the bear market. I'm sure that Sandbox learned the lessons from past failures and came out much more mature and stronger. Time will show, but this project looks promising.
Exactly. So all in all, it's not an easy choice. Both projects at this phase that they are in are more of platforms to build games and virtual stores for brands. Unless augmented reality and 3D glasses enter the play, here I think rising to a $5 trillion industry will be very difficult. But this might happen in the future as well. We will see. Decentraland is and has the better tokenomics, and based on this, I would choose it with closed eyes. But Sandbox has better platform and user-based metrics, better activity in general, and more partnerships that bring more demand to their metaverse. They definitely need that, as their token unlocks are significant, and we need to pay attention when that happens. I would say that I want them both for the long term, but purely from the fundamental perspective, as we saw with price performance Decentraland had in the bear market, it is clear that low inflation and burning did a better job than more partnerships. So definitely in the bull market they will both pump, but for the bear market Decentraland is better. I think it's 50-50. I slightly lean towards Decentraland because of those tokenomics.
Alex, I would agree with you.
Very strange. Exactly,
okay,
strange. So that's
it for today, guys. If you liked the episode, please like, subscribe, push the notification bell button, share and comment. Check if you remain subscribed to our channel, as there is a bug on YouTube. Thank you.
Thank you and bye bye till next time.